you know?
Well, I needed attention and money, and I needed to do songs.
Yeah.
I have songs I've been blessed to be able to play.
Sly Stone, the revolutionary genius behind Sly and the Family Stone. The man who invented funk, the artist who turned Woodstock into a celebration of unity and groove.
I gotta play music, they play music, so I gotta just play music.
But what if I told you that behind those psychedelic outfits and infectious rhythms, Stone harbored some seriously dark grudges against fellow musicians? That's right, the man who preached dance to the music and everyday people was actually fighting bitter wars with some of music's biggest names. From soul legends who dismissed his innovations to rock bands who stole his thunder, from disco acts who corrupted his vision to the ultimate betrayal that allegedly destroyed his faith in the music industry. We're counting down the 6 bands Sly Stone allegedly despised most. And trust me, number 1 involves a betrayal so shocking it reportedly sent Stone into the paranoid spiral that defined his later years. This isn't just musical rivalry. We're talking about creative theft, racial politics, and personal vendettas that shaped the sound of popular music. Get ready, because this funk pioneer's grudges are about to get seriously funky. 6. The Temptations. Coming in at number 6, we have the Temptations, and this feud was all about tradition versus innovation in the world of soul music. The tension between Sly Stone and the Temptations allegedly started when Stone began revolutionizing soul music with his integrated band and psychedelic funk approach in the late 1960s. While the Temptations represented the polished, choreographed perfection of Motown, Stone was creating something completely different: raw, political, and boundary-pushing. Industry insiders claim the bad blood began when Temptations members made dismissive comments about Stone's sloppy stage performances and unconventional musical arrangements. Sources close to Stone reported that he was furious about what he saw as old guard resistance to musical evolution, allegedly calling the Temptations museum pieces trying to hold back the future.
You don't take everything as seriously as other people do.
No, I don't. I mean, this can't do it.
But here's where it gets personal. The rivalry intensified when both acts were competing for the same audiences and festival slots during the height of the civil rights era. Stone allegedly felt that the Temptations' safe, apolitical approach was undermining the more revolutionary message he was trying to convey through his music. The breaking point supposedly came when Stone learned that Temptations members had been making comments to industry executives about his band's interracial lineup, suggesting that it was a gimmick rather than a genuine artistic statement. Stone reportedly told friends that the Temptations were Uncle Toms in matching suits. At number 5, we have Santana, and this rivalry was about who really deserved credit for revolutionizing rock music with Latin and psychedelic influences. The bad blood allegedly started when both Sly Stone and Carlos Santana were being hailed as pioneers of multicultural rock music in the late 1960s. While Stone was blending funk, rock, and soul with his integrated band, Santana was incorporating Latin rhythms and spiritual themes into rock music. Industry sources claim Stone felt that Santana was getting undeserved credit for innovations that he had pioneered first. Stone allegedly told friends that Santana's approach was surface-level spirituality for white hippies who want to feel enlightened, while his own music addressed real social and political issues. But here's what made this rivalry particularly bitter. Both bands were often compared by critics and festival organizers, with many suggesting that Santana's guitar-driven approach was more serious than Stone's funk-based experimentation. Stone reportedly resented this characterization, feeling that his songwriting and production innovations were being overlooked. The tension escalated when both bands performed at Woodstock, with Santana receiving massive critical acclaim for their performance. Sources close to Stone claim he felt that Santana's success was built on exotic mysticism rather than genuine musical innovation, and that critics were responding to surface-level spirituality rather than deeper artistic achievement. The breaking point supposedly came when Santana made comments in interviews about the importance of consciousness in music.
It took a while, but when it did, it was the greatest gift that we could have given each other. Something just shifted in both of us.
which Stone allegedly interpreted as a criticism of his more party-oriented funk material. He reportedly told industry friends that Santana was preaching from a soapbox made of guitar solos. The most damaging alleged incident occurred when both bands were being considered for a major music festival, and Stone learned that promoters had chosen Santana because they were seen as more respectable and less likely to cause controversy. Stone allegedly told his management that Santana represented sellout spirituality for suburban seekers. Number 4 brings us to Earth, Wind and Fire, and this feud was about authentic funk versus commercial polish in the most personal way possible. The rivalry allegedly started when Earth, Wind and Fire began achieving massive commercial success in the mid-1970s with their slick, highly produced approach to funk and soul music. While Stone had pioneered the funk sound with raw, experimental recordings, EWF was perfecting it for mainstream consumption. Industry insiders claim Stone felt that Earth, Wind and Fire was stealing his musical innovations while removing everything that made them culturally significant. He allegedly told friends that Maurice White and his band were turning revolution into Vegas entertainment, sanitizing funk for audiences who couldn't handle its original political message. But here's where it gets really ugly. Sources close to Stone reported that he was particularly resonated by EWF's spiritual and mystical imagery, which he saw as appropriating African cultural symbols without understanding their deeper meaning. Stone allegedly called their approach costume party consciousness for people who think incense equals enlightenment. The tension intensified when Earth, Wind and Fire began receiving critical acclaim and Grammy recognition that Stone felt should have gone to more authentic funk pioneers. He reportedly told industry friends that EWF's success proved that audiences preferred fake depth over real innovation. The breaking point supposedly came when Stone learned that some of his former musicians had joined Earth, Wind and Fire's touring band, allegedly taking his musical arrangements and performance techniques to their new employer. Stone reportedly felt this was the ultimate betrayal, telling friends that EWF was stealing my sound with my own people. The most revealing alleged incident occurred at a 1970s awards ceremony where both acts were nominated in similar categories. Witnesses claim Stone made pointed comments about bands that mistake production value for artistic value, remarks widely interpreted as directed at Earth, Wind and Fire's polished approach to funk music. Stone's alleged resentment toward EWF represented his broader frustration with how the music industry commercialized and diluted the revolutionary potential of funk music. At number 3, we have Led Zeppelin, and this rivalry was about cultural appropriation versus authentic innovation in rock music. The bad blood allegedly started when Led Zeppelin began incorporating funk and blues elements into their heavy rock sound during the early 1970s. While Stone had been creating original fusions of rock, funk, and soul, Zeppelin was taking existing musical forms and adapting them for rock audiences. Industry sources claim Stone was particularly irritated by Led Zeppelin's approach to rhythm and groove.
I think it has to do with songs that involve everybody,
which he felt was a shallow imitation of the deep funk he had pioneered. Stone allegedly told friends that Zeppelin was stealing black music and calling it innovation, reducing complex rhythmic concepts to simple rock patterns. But here's what made this feud particularly intense. Stone reportedly felt that Led Zeppelin's massive commercial success was built on appropriating musical elements that black artists had created but weren't receiving proper credit or compensation for. He allegedly saw Zeppelin as representative of rock music's tendency to profit from black innovation without acknowledgement. The rivalry intensified when both bands were competing for festival headline spots and critical recognition as rock innovators. Stone allegedly resented that Zeppelin's guitar-heavy approach was being hailed as more serious than his funk innovations, telling industry friends that rock critics only respect black music when white bands play it. The most damaging alleged incident occurred when both bands were being considered for a major rock festival, and Stone learned that promoters had chosen Zeppelin because they were seen as more authentic rock performers. Stone allegedly told friends that this decision proved the music industry's racial bias, rewarding appropriation over innovation. At number 2, we have Parliament Funkadelic, and this betrayal was about who really owned the funk sound and who deserved to be called the godfather of funk. This rivalry was particularly painful because George Clinton and Sly Stone had initially been allies in the development of funk music. Both were pushing beyond traditional soul and R&B boundaries, creating new sounds that would influence generations of musicians. The tension allegedly started when Parliament Funkadelic began achieving massive success in the mid-1970s, just as Stone's career was becoming derailed by drug problems and erratic behavior. Industry sources claim Stone felt that Clinton was capitalizing on the funk innovations that he had pioneered while he was struggling with personal demons. But here's where it gets really personal. Sources close to Stone reported that he believed George Clinton was deliberately appropriating his musical concepts and stage presentation style. Stone allegedly told friends that P-Funk was stealing my entire aesthetic and calling it their own invention, from the psychedelic imagery to the integrated band concept.
With my mother-in-law, you better leave me, all right, Richard? You better leave me alone, man. I got a partner backstage that hits so hard and fast.
The rivalry intensified when Clinton began being referred to as the godfather of funk in music press, a title that Stone felt belonged to him as the original pioneer of the genre. Stone reportedly told industry friends that Clinton was rewriting history to make himself the hero of a story I started. The breaking point supposedly came when Stone learned that some of his former band members had joined Parliament Funkadelic, allegedly bringing his musical arrangements and songwriting techniques to Clinton's organization. Stone reportedly felt this was the ultimate betrayal, telling friends that Clinton was building an empire on my foundation. 1. The family Stone. But the band Sly Stone hated most was his own group, Sly and the Family Stone. And this self-destructive hatred allegedly destroyed one of music history's most innovative ensembles. This is the ultimate tragedy that explains Stone's descent into paranoia and isolation. While the world saw Sly and the Family Stone as a unified creative force, Stone allegedly came to view his own band members as enemies who were plotting against him and stealing his creative vision. The hatred allegedly started when Stone became increasingly paranoid about his band members' loyalty and financial motivations. Sources close to the group reported that Stone began to believe his family members and longtime collaborators were conspiring to control his career and profit from his innovations without giving him proper credit. But here's where it gets really dark. Industry insiders claim Stone became convinced that his band was deliberately sabotaging his performances and recordings to make him look unreliable, allowing them to take control of the group's direction and finances. He allegedly started viewing every creative suggestion from band members as an attempt to undermine his artistic authority. The breaking point supposedly came when Stone learned that some Family Stone members had been meeting with record label executives without his knowledge, allegedly discussing the group's future and their concerns about his erratic behavior. Stone reportedly interpreted this as the ultimate betrayal, telling friends that his own family was selling me out to the industry. The most devastating aspect of this self-hatred was how it destroyed Stone's ability to collaborate with anyone, leading to the complete breakdown of one of music's most innovative creative partnerships, and Stone's eventual withdrawal from the music industry. So there you have it. Sly Stone's revolutionary genius came with paranoid hatred that ultimately consumed him and his legacy. From industry rivals to family betrayals, Stone's grudges destroyed the very relationships that made his music possible. Which feud shocked you most? Let us know in the comments and subscribe for more music industry tragedy.